Now it is. Oh, that's a lovely smile. Good evening. Is it good afternoon, Bashiyra?
Coming up to evening time, yeah?
Oh, I'm so glad to meet you.
Okay, so my name's Bashiyra and I am a singer and a songwriter and I'm also a vocal coach. I feel that I've been singing really from my mother's womb. Come from a musical background. I have aunts and uncles that are in production and have produced for people like Maxi Priest and Adiva, who some of you might remember. And I just kind of always had a passion for music and singing in particular, and felt that I wanted to do this as a career, and so I took the time out to develop my art form. Did a lot of session singing and performing and supporting as a background vocalist for people like Patti Labelle, Diana Ross, Queen, and also Michael Bolton. Also even did some backing vocals for Naomi Campbell, the model, who at the time was about to embark on a singing career.
She did. I remember briefly after she did the video with Michael Jackson.
That's right. She did she did a cover version, and so I was booked as one of the vocalists to come down and actually do background vocals for her. Love music with a passion. It's in my blood, you know, and also I think it's important to teach as well, you know, to impart your experience, and so to that effect I'm also a vocal coach. So I teach people how to sing, I teach them how to perform, how to write songs, how to present themselves, and also I'm just a lover of communication. I think it's important to be able to be very communicative.
So would you say you're a poet at heart?
Would I say I'm a poet?
Or writer or lyricist?
Absolutely.
That's where lyrics come from, real deep lyrics.
I started off with poetry before I started writing songs, and I still have a book of poetry now that I do in my leisure time.
You're going to publish that?
I think so. A lot of people ask me about that, and I think that I will. I'm not sure.
It's not yet complete, maybe, according to you, isn't it? Still feeling it in. You're still feeling it in, because so many exciting things are happening for you lately. As you said, you started by just your own passion for singing. Was there anybody in the family? You mentioned production, but was there a singer in the family?
Well, actually, a couple of my aunts sing and did background vocal work as well, and one of my aunts did some stuff out in, I think it was Belgium or Holland. But in terms of sort of doing what I'm doing, I think I am the first. So I've got a proud family all over the world, you know, in the Caribbean, in the States, in the UK, and they're in Europe as well. They're very proud of my achievements and supportive and loving, and
So do you find that richness in culture, has it impacted your singing? Because tomorrow, let's just say, so far, before you embarked on your album, you're having an album coming out on within the next 2 weeks, I should think.
Yeah, well basically what's happening is I'm having a pre-launch on the 15th of July. And after that, August 5th, 2013 will be the release of my EP, which will be on Expansion Records UK. And thereafter, my album from America will follow.
You're going to do an album in America?
The album's finished.
Okay.
It's recorded in America.
So you've already been there?
It's completely finished. It's just about a release date now.
Okay.
So the EP will follow first, and after the EP's finished, then the album will come.
So generally, what kind of music you do? Acoustic mostly?
No. I do acoustic. Like for example, on Monday, coming on the 15th, I'm going to be doing an acoustic pre-launch. But I sing with a full band, right from horn sections down to percussion, to bass, drums, keyboards, guitar, flute.
It's really about the music.
And so for me, I think it's important that real music thrives. You know, I'm a stickler for real vocalists being able to sing. You know, a real keyboardist being able to play and developing their art form.
And you want to hear all those instruments come out, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much. If I may ask, what really do you find has been the hardest thing to, you know, music, starting from being a backing singer for some of the greats? Did it ever occur to you that maybe I'm just going to give this up, or were you always knowing whatever happens, this is what you had to do? This was your calling, you were not going to back down?
Yeah, definitely the second one. I'm not going to say that there hasn't been key times when I felt a little bit heavy with some of the attitudes that you can find in some individuals within the business, but I think within any business you will find
such people, so it's
and
best
you
to
have
know.
to be clear with a strong conviction about who you are, about what your purpose is, And as long as you have that to the forefront of your mind, the obstacles that present themselves, you will find a way either through them, over them, around the side to the left, around the side to the right. You will find a way through it.
Bashiyra, part 2 of On the Couch with Mary Lotus. Tell us what artists have inspired you most, if there's such a thing, because you seem to like music, the whole breadth of it. You mentioned horns and unusual instruments to hear about. Most people just assume. I mean, if you're doing music, you're probably just behind there singing R&B. But you mentioned real orchestral setup. So
absolutely.
Who inspires you most? The artist? Three
artists that inspire me.
I know there are many, but try.
Maxwell.
Oh yes.
That's my vocal husband. I tell everybody and anybody that. Because for me, what he does with his voice as a male vocalist is phenomenal. He's got the range, he's got the tone, he's got the depth, he's got colour, he's got passion. And he's got stage presence. He knows how to deliver his voice as an instrument. I also love Rochelle Farrell, a very understated singer. She is, for me, one of the best singers ever. Next to people like Ella Fitzgerald, who'd be my third person.
Yes.
Ella Fitzgerald, Rochelle Farrell, Maxwell. Those would be the people that I would say.
Well, Maxwell is so good because when you hear his album, and Usher recently sang Climax, and I'm thinking that reminds me of Maxwell. I said, I don't know, out of this world range. You're right.
I just love everything Maxwell does. I love how he presents himself vocally. I love it, and he's someone I'd love to work with. Would love to work with Rochelle Farrell as well. Listen to the greats, people like Ella Fitzgerald. I mean, my music taste is so vast. I listen to classical music as well. I don't sort of confine myself to one particular niche of music. I'm expansive and I like to listen to all kinds of music, so yeah.
How about, is music a lifestyle for you, or is it?
No, music for me is definitely a lifestyle. It's part of my way of living, part of my being. Every day in my life there is some element of music, whether it's me rehearsing for a show, whether it's writing a song, whether it's rehearsing with my musicians, whether I'm coaching a student or a client. For me, music is definitely a way of life. If it's just listening to the radio, listening back to some stuff that I've recorded in the studio, it's a way of life.
So what's your work habits like if you're recording? Get up in the morning, go all night, all day, or do you just face it through months?
No, for me there's a preparation that happens before the recording studio. I want to get to the studio and I know that I have everything that I need ready, you know, because time is money. That's how this thing works. So it's not about turning up unprepared, it's about being prepared. It's about going there, cutting the song, recording it, voicing it, getting it engineered, getting it produced. Sometimes this doesn't all happen in one session. It depends on the project. But yeah, there's thinking, there's a thought process that happens before. You know, it's an art form, and you have to nurture that and develop that to a standard. For me, it's a high standard that it has to be at.
So for you, what comes out first, the melody or the lyric?
It could be either or either. Yeah, it just depends on the vibe of the moment. It depends on what is the calling for the project, what is the project about. I can write either way, with a melody or without a melody. It doesn't really matter for me. Obviously, if you have music, you get an instant vibe to write to. But as a lyricist, as somebody that started off in poetry, I know the dynamics of just being able to write without having to listen to
a melody. 3 things that you're passionate about outside music. Try. I know music is your life, but
very easy. For me, community.
Yes.
Community.
Bashiyra. 3 things outside music that you're passionate about.
Community. I love my community. I think it's important that we empower each other and work together as male, as female, to empower each other. So definitely community. Health. Very big on health and fitness and well-being. I think it's important to eat well, to think well, to be well, to speak your wellness as well. And I think probably the third thing would be traveling. I love to travel.
I'm traveling.
Yeah, I love traveling. I do a lot of traveling, obviously, with my music, but it's nice when I can travel and I'm just with my loved ones and we're just chilled.
Chilled out. Are there any places you think you haven't seen yet? Have you been to Egypt?
I have.
Yes?
I loved it. I loved it. I loved it with a passion. Went with my best friend, my girlfriend, and I loved it. We were there for 2 weeks. And put it this way, when we arrived, we had people really acknowledge us.
Yes.
You know, acknowledge that we had come back.
Yes.
That we were visiting one of our
Homeland,
homelands.
yes.
So amazing
The first
experience.
welcome and everything.
Yeah,
you really
amazing
must travel
experience.
further. Probably visit East Africa.
I've been to West Africa. I've been to Senegal twice.
You haven't been to
I
East Africa yet? Oh.
No, not yet, not yet. But it's on the map. Don't worry. So yeah, I think I love traveling. But if there's one place in the whole wide world that I'd love to visit, just because I don't know anything about it, but I love the vibration of the word, would be the Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coast.
I'd love to spend some time in the
Apparently
Ivory
one
Coast.
of the most beautiful countries in the
That's
world.
what
I've
I've
heard. So you must surely go there. Ivory
Coast.
Coast.
That's on my list of things to do.
What would you regard as the strongest motto, mission by which you live, mission statement? What do you wake up and say every day? What do you think as you go through life? What do you say? Pick yourself.
I say anything is possible. Anything is possible with the right mindset. Sometimes you have to do it by yourself, but other times you will have help, you will have support. But anything is possible, you know. It's about creating and designing the environment and the desire and looking at how you track the resources to manifest it and to nurture it and to maintain it and to give gratitude for it.
So you believe like me that what you put out always comes back. I always believe that there's nothing the universe doesn't give back.
Yes.
If you spend the energy, something is going to come back to you.
Absolutely.
So what else would I ask? 3 things you want to do in the next 3 years or 5 years.
Next 3 years, next 5 years, 3 things I'd like to do.
That's more like the short term, isn't it? Because life now is so long.
I know.
So 5 years looks like the short term.
That's a big question. I think in the next 5 years, I would love to set up retreats, health retreats, music retreats, where I can use that as an opportunity to have people come, relax, eat well.
And listen to some therapeutic vibes.
Absolutely, and in an environment that nurtures their spirit and their soul. I will help to nurture their voice, to nurture their presentation of who they are as individuals. And I also want to do that especially for women, for mothers, because mothers give a lot, you know, and it's about them having some quality time with their sisters to rest, to eat well, to be loved and to love.
Oh, that's good. What was I going to say? 3 books. You love reading?
I do love reading, yeah.
Any member of books?
Oh gosh, there's so many.
It's a thing when you love reading.
A book by Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. Very good book.
Should buy that. I've never bought that.
Okay, another good book. Gosh, there's a book called Undefeated. I've forgotten who the author is, but basically she was an ex-partner of Mick Jagger. She developed breast cancer.
Finally, what if I get you on Facebook?
Website, Bashiyra.com, and you'll see the link to my Facebook on
Facebook,
there.
Twitter,
Yeah, it's all
YouTube.
on there.
Definitely,
It's all on there.
they can find you there because as long as you search Bashiyra on YouTube, all the videos, the one with you boxing, that's a boxer. What was it?
The book's called Don't Get in My Face, the track.
Yes, but the guy with you was a professional.
Yeah, actually it was, do you remember Saracen? Do you remember the Gladiator?
Yeah, the Gladiator
Yeah,
guys.
he was in there.
Bashiyra for speaking to Mary Lotus of StreetCherub, and I shall catch you tomorrow. Or I'll follow the music. Your album coming up, and I wish you the best in your journey.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.